Evening! How you doing? It's Middle-Aged Gamer Guy here, also known as Mag or Mags. How are you lovely people? We are back with another Tuesday night gaming chat. As always, big shout out to Jesse for the raid. Thank you, good sir. Greatly appreciate that. Let's see who's in chat this evening. See how you're all doing. Let's see. Gozzo was the first one here. Good evening, sir. Good to see you. Mr. Game Tank. Well, hello there. Danker, hello. Flame, hello. Great to see you all. Jenny, hello. Lovely to see you. Great to see you on Saturday, Jenny. Because obviously we were talking about the gig last night on last night's show. I know you enjoyed it, but I hope you did enjoy it. So there you go. She's like, yay. Ben, hello. How are you doing? Oi, time to guess some wrong numbers again. Yes, indeed. Hi. Indeed. Sophie goes, nerd. Hello, Soph. How you doing? Lovely. Welcome on in. Again, Jesse, thank you so much for that raid. Hope you're well. So obviously, like the last 2 weeks and the next 2 weeks after this, we are sponsored by Mech Arena, exclamation Mech in chat. All our shows are sponsored by a wonderful game that you can play on your mobile or PC. We have a number of challenges for you to complete between now and the middle of December. Feel free to download it. It's absolutely free. Play the game, join in, and try and complete all the challenges. As Dan says, hey, Mech Arena. There you go. Cat Rose Gaming, thank you for the lurk. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing well, Cat. Good to see you. Jenny says, I loved it on Saturday. Thank you. It was lovely to see you in the wild. Yes, in the wild. And now I'm back here for 2.5 months, not going anywhere. So I'm back locked in my cage. There you go. But yes, you have a bunny. I do have a bunny. I'm wearing a certain hoodie that I may have got from Timeless, but I won't mention the company because I'm not affiliated with them whatsoever. But I will say that their socks and their jumpers are very cozy. So there you go. Hey, Mech Arena. I'm good, thank you. Got a PS4 game today from the Black Friday. Oh, yes, that literally came out today, didn't it? Obviously, some of you may have seen me play Quidditch Champions. Literally, 2 months ago, believe it or not. But the physical release came out today, so you got that for a good price, 20 quid. The thing with the bunny, yes. Danker says, how sneaky? Yes. No idea what you're on about. Jesse has their coasters. Yeah. Mike says your guest is fucking hot. Yes, he will be. He will. There you go. So a couple of things, obviously. No Dave tonight, unfortunately. He let me know yesterday. He's got to work overtime, he's been told. So we have no Dave this week, unfortunately. But there you go. Jesse is so hot that he might have to put the fan on. There you go. DJ Mike, hope you're well, buddy, by the way. Bondi, good evening. Hello, how are you? You know what, Jesse? Jesse tops Dave. There you go. There's just the two of us. We can make it if we try tonight. Just the two of us, me and him. There you go. Ems, how you doing? Hello, lovely people. How are you? Brief visit has got to have an early night as shagged. Interpret that in what way you will. There you go. Hey, Bondi. Good. Just enjoying the Poggy life. Poggy life? What is it? Can we have just Jesus? I don't think he's available. He only comes, resurrects himself around about. Shagged in, as in tied. Well, yeah, I was just checking. Okay, just checking. Or at least someone is getting some. Yeah, there you go. I know I ain't. There you go. So, without further ado, because Davey's not here, he's perfectly well, by the way. It's just that work came in and he had to work, so he will be back with us next week. But let's kick things off. I don't know. Oh, yeah, go on. I'm going to put that on. That made me laugh. I'm just going to put that on. I'm not going to repeat it, but I'm putting it there. Just putting it there. There you go. So, without further ado, we have our special guest this week. Now, usually, when this guest is on the show, he gets called up with about an hour's notice to be on the show. This time, he had 2 weeks. Now, it was advertised that we were going to have David from Thumb Soldiers on the show. David will actually be on in 2 weeks' time. He ended up having to be at a big event that they were exhibiting at, and he was like, there's no way I'm going to get from there to do the show. And I said, it's all cool. drop Jesse a line. And Jesse very kindly said, I will fill in the show. I have got a package from, in fact, I will show you this now before I bring Jesse in. Fun Soldiers very kindly sent me a load of stuff, and I will unveil it all in a couple of streams, but they've sent me loads of little boxes of their stuff. So we'll be talking about that in a couple of weeks. It's really cool. So they sent me a little care package. So that would be cool. But they're not on tonight. Who we have got tonight is the one and only wonderful mod, and obviously partner in crime with Timeless GC. I've got to time this right because he's doing the dance. Because one for all, give it up for the one and only Big Jesse who's doing the mag swag.
Hello, everyone. Big Jesus. First
Big
comment.
Jesus.
Good evening, everybody.
There you go. Kindred says,
I am indeed doing the mag swag this evening. Go and buy the merch.
There you go. I'm lurking is still knackered from Saturday and Commentary Crash Live Retro Gaming Convention. Way too much travelling. That sounds good. Commentary. Oh, yeah, because the Crash event was on at the weekend, wasn't it? I saw that. I know some people that went to that. Hope it was good for you, Kindred. How are you, Jesse? How are you doing?
I'm good. I put command in chat. I didn't know if it would work.
It did. It did. Buy the merch. You can actually go get that.
Buy this T-shirt, not this specific one.
No, not the one he's wearing.
Yeah, I stole that off of him at
OLL. Yeah, nicked it on OLL. But yeah, you can. If you want to get merch, have a look at the website. The website's had a little bit of an update recently, so go have a look. If you've never bought any merch, again, help support the channel. Blah blah blah, all that, and you can look as sexy as Jesse right there. As Sophie just said, I'll strip for Jesse for that T-shirt. There you go.
I think she means she's going to take it off of me.
Well, yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't think. She does. I got my mag hoodie at OLL. There you go. Yeah, you did. You did. I think you were one of the first of the brand new ones you bought. Actually, there you go. DJ Mike says, "What's your take on horsetails, Big Jesse?"
My take on it is that a certain middle-aged gaming guy needs to get on and play it on his stream. That's my take on it.
Yeah, well, maybe if we hit a certain sub goal for the special Christmas giveaways, then that might actually happen because we were only 10 subs away and we didn't hit it. Could always happen in December. Just saying. Iquel, good evening. How are you? Great to see you. Ems, hello. She says, so many Calyx boxes on stream. I know. Jesse's got his. I've got mine too. Do you know I've been banging on about having another two on this side? They're actually turning up on Thursday. They were supposed to turn up back in January.
There's another one of those that almost immediately downstairs from me where I'm sat now. And then two single stacks as well.
He's actually drilled holes through the ceiling and the floor, so they're actually not connected together. Yeah. There you go. Em says we got some too. There you go.
There's a new sponsor for your stream, isn't it?
What, Calyx boxes?
Well, I know how much you love IKEA. Mac has only been to IKEA 4 times in the last 5 years, and all 4 of those because of me. You're welcome.
Anyway, trying to get through the trauma. Moving on. If you say so. They're so good for games rooms. I mean, they are and they aren't. Because I have another story. EGX 2021, IKEA had a big stand and were launching their new range of gaming chairs and gaming furniture.
Yeah.
And it was absolute fucking shite.
Yeah.
It was really
they haven't improved it at all. It's still the same stuff as well.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Like for an office, fine, but for gaming. Yeah. I actually did a filming piece on it. I was like, I would not buy any of that. So I was like, wow, this is poor quality. And the sad thing was they were next to one of the big gaming chair companies. And you kind of go, yeah, gaming chair company, IKEA. There you go. Anyway, I've got 3 4x2 Calyxes in my bedroom. There you go. Everyone's got to have a Calyx. So that could be a phrase. I go for the meatballs, says Bondi. See, there's someone with some sense. So yeah. Go for the meatballs. Don't go for anything else. One time in Toronto, we had a monkey hanging out at the front door.
Ben.
Yeah. Google IKEA monkey Toronto. He was a cute little guy. There you go. True story. Why do Norwegians make their own furniture? No IKEA.
That deserves a round of applause.
It does.
That's great.
There you go. Very well done, Ben. Thank you. If it weren't for IKEA, my room would be just 30 years worth of gaming crap spread over the floor. Ben says might drop.
I'm going to be using that joke at work tomorrow as if I came up with it.
Do it. Hashtag reuse jokes. Why not?
Yeah.
So Jesse, dare I ask, what have you been playing recently?
Oh, well, I mean, it's mostly your fault. As per usual, most of the games I play end up being something I've seen on your show.
Yeah.
But actually, the one that I've been playing the most is console version of Valorant, which I fell in love with when we did your community night of Valorant.
Yeah. Hello, Dave. It says it's all his fault. What isn't true? Yeah, because I didn't realise that was over 2 months ago now as well.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
I really like it because it's it doesn't. I feel like the PC version is really sweaty. Everybody who I speak to about the PC version is really sweaty, but
yeah,
on console there's loads of rubbish people on there. So I'm not necessarily the bottom every time. I'm just like maybe one up from the bottom occasionally. So
it's not
makes me feel good about myself.
Fleabag, good evening. How are you? Good to see you. And so for anyone who doesn't know you, you might as well say this because you haven't streamed in quite a while, but you're looking to stream again at some point, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm actually planning because I'm moving in a month's time, and my new setup will be much more set up for going and streaming. So I'm planning on streaming more regularly than the 2 in a year that I've done this year. So the next year, in Microsoft terms, there'll be 200% growth, which means I'll do 4 streams next year.
There you go. Dave says, "Do you want a manager?"
Not really, Dave.
There you go. He's looking to migrate. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Bondi says, "Sorry, got to go all. Got the cracks in the morning. Have a great stream. Take care, Bondi. We'll see you soon.
Bondi. See you later."
DJ Mike has sent us the IKEA monkey thing, so thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. I'll check that out after stream. Fleabag says, "Doing well, thanks, mate. Hope you are too." I'm doing well, thank you. Good to see you, buddy. Get in the bucket, says Jenny. I think she's talking to Dave. Unless you've got a bucket. I mean, I've got a bucket, but
I mean, it's technically a bin, but does that make Dave happy?
You look like a conehead.
You look like a conehead.
Well,
the worst thing about that is I forgot because I had a house inspection the other day, and I'm not technically allowed candles. So I nearly just did that, and the candle I'd hidden it nearly just smacked.
Oh, yeah, you got to be careful. But
that would have been a lot of blood, but it would have smelled really nice of cherry.
Yeah, nice cherry blood. Watch this stream, TNGC, while an ambulance is called.
Oh, God, that could be all sorts of awkward.
A bin is a bucket, but not all buckets are bins. I thought you were talking to Dave. That made sense. There you go. So for anyone who doesn't know as well, and if you don't, then where have you been? You are a fantastic photographer.
Oh,
and I'm not just saying that because you're my mate, because I've actually genuinely seen your work. Obviously, you've done stuff for us for Timeless.
You're not just saying that because you're my mate. You're saying it because I do it for free for Timeless as well.
Well, I wasn't just saying it as that as well, but also the fact that you've also done some work for a number of bands that I say number of bands. Actually, it's been one band 3 times, isn't it? Most recently, yeah. But you do lots of work with hundreds of other bands and venues around the country. So tell people about the music photography as well. And
I have the pleasure of being sort of associated with quite a famous music venue called the Joiners, which is based near me in Southampton. And I basically get to see a lot of up and coming bands. And the cool thing about going to a grassroots venue is you get to see bands as they're getting signed, going to there. And then especially from a photography point of view, but just generally as a fan of music, you then get to see them going up, getting bigger and bigger gigs. And
Yeah.
so, for example, there's a band called the Lottery Winners who are doing really well at the minute, and going to all the festivals and everything. And I remember photographing them the night that they'd just been signed by a record label. And there were 200 people there, maybe less, at this gig. And then, like 3 or 4 years later, they're now playing Glastonbury and all these big festivals and things. So yeah, so I absolutely love it. And then I have lots of local friends like Jenny, who we then go to gigs and enjoy the local music
scene.
It's quite weird, really, because like I'm not far off you age-wise, so I feel like a old fuddy-duddy, and then I'm going to these gigs and there's these youngsters with baseball caps on backwards going, "Sup, dude," and fist bumping me, and I'm just like, sure.
Cheers.
But it's fine. The owner of the Joiners, her wife, comes round with a she the owner of the Joiners' wife comes round with lemon and ginger tea for us all. There's not that rock and roll, really.
Yeah, no, there's nothing that rock and roll about. I mean, the gig on Saturday, like you and Jenny were going to find some food somewhere, and then we get a text message from the lead singer of the band saying, "Any chance you could get me some sausage rolls from Greg's?"
Yeah,
that's how rock and roll that was.
Well, it is really like it's really funny how like until you make the really real big time in the music industry, you just don't see that kind of disconnect from the real world.
Yeah,
in that way it's kind of, you know, grubby and hard work, and you really do have to work your socks off. Which is why a lot of people in the music industry don't like the fast track TV, reality TV programs, because you're going from nothing and not necessarily putting that effort. I know a lot of them do, and it's often a big shock when you then get to that fame, because realistically, it's not as shiny as all that, you know. Well, I've been backstage with Lulu.
Oh yeah.
And she's lovely, mad as a box of frogs, but she's absolutely lovely. And you know, her luxury accommodation that she was in was just basically like one of those old, like portable hut type things.
Yeah, they normally are
out the back of a football stadium, and I was just like, it's not glamorous.
It's never glamorous. None of it's ever glamorous. Obviously, we've seen a lot of it, and it's not glamorous, but it's still fun in certain respects.
But it's nice because you get to enjoy the music and all of that sort of thing. I think, where was it? That picture there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I photographed them. They're called Bambi Thug. Photographed them. They were a support act to about 250 people. And then I saw them a year later on the TV at Eurovision Song Contest.
Oh, nice.
And it was a bit of a shock because they're a really alternative band, but you know, it's quite cool. You just get to see these people and go, "Oh, I recognise them."
Do you know what? It does happen. It's there's been quite a few acts going back in my old days before streaming that I'd worked with on small, tiny stages, either at festivals or just general venues. That then 5 or 6 years, I was like, "Shit, I worked with them."
Yeah.
And I worked with multiple times who then did get record contracts and stuff and do very well, and either are still going that I work with, or had their time in the sun, as it were, and then have gone out of stuff. But it's really always good fun to go, "Oh, holy shit, yeah, I recognise them," and I bet you get that a lot. So
it's really funny because you can never tell. I think personally, I can never ever tell who's a great live band, who's going to do well. And you also have that disconnect between being good live and having good like studio stuff to listen to on Spotify. So some bands, you know, they don't get a lot of streams, so they don't make a big name for themselves, but then they sell out every show at small venues because they do such an amazing live live show. So it's a really funny old industry, really. But I said to you, we went to see Cigarettes After Sex
Yes.
a few weeks ago, and honestly, I did, all credits to them for doing well. But like, if you take it just purely musically and everything, like, there's no reason why they're doing particularly well. Because it's so simple. Like I said, that I could have learned all three instruments for the whole set in the week. It was very, very basic, but a massive following. So go figure.
Which is really impressive. I like that. Ben says, Mags, if you open Timeless Game Publishing and publish any of my games, you'll be able to say, shit, I work with that guy. Dave Johnson says, forget the games tonight. We'll just keep chatting with Jesse. 1,000% more interesting, and I'm enthralled. DJ Mike says,
Dave's seen the list of games, has he?
No, he hasn't actually. He hasn't seen it. I'm more of a SIGs during sex kind of guy. There you go. And Ben was saying, just saying, but there you go. There you go. Anyway, shall we move on with the show?
Yeah, should we talk about games or something?
Should we talk about games or something? Because
we haven't got the co-host that knows the most, but you have got someone who's got no frigging idea whatsoever. So no worries.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be. Kindred says, I've seen a few bands live who are definitely better on recording and not live. I think we have all seen bands like that.
Yeah, plenty of those.
Do you know what? That's the funny thing though, because like you can get an album that you love so much that's so well produced, and then you listen to a band live and you go, oh, and then you realize how much has gone on to recording that album and they've done, and it's they can never recreate it. It's
answer Mr. Johnson, by the way. Dave's not here. As soon as he heard I was here, he decided not to come because he hates me.
Yeah. There you go. That's how we usually describe Mag, isn't it, Jesse? Guy who has no fucking clue. It has been said on many occasions. But I wanted to hear more about IKEA furniture. Well, we should press on. There we go. Dave isn't here, so no point talking about games. What are we going to
press
talk
on?
about?
Is that a type of IKEA furniture?
Press on. Yeah, press on.
Have you ever seen the game IKEA or Cheese?
No.
You basically a list of different types of IKEA furniture and different types of cheese, and then you basically have to guess between you by the word whether it's IKEA furniture or if it's a type of cheese. It's a great game.
It's like Chihuahua or Muffin. Have you ever played that? Just a big picture of loads of things, and you have to decipher whether it's a muffin or a Chihuahua. And some of them are very difficult to tell.
They are very difficult to tell.
Yeah, but there you go. Ellie, good evening, both. Hello, Ellie. How are you doing?
Good evening.
There you go. There's an IKEA sim out for free. I don't want to play IKEA Simulator. I'd rather chop both my hands off and stick this pen in both my eyes and play that.
Can I do that for you?
Feel free. When are we meeting? I'm going to help you move, isn't it? You can do that to me but make sure I let you move first and then stab in the eyes, because then I don't need to drive back. I can just sit in the side road. There you go. Sophie says, do it. Thanks, Soph. Ben says, we need these games on stage at Timeless next year. I heard there's a mag sim where you go to IKEA. Yeah, fucking place down. Anyway, first game tonight. We're going to start the show. We've only got 6 games. It's a bit of a. Well, we are coming up to what. It's funny, coming up to a bit of a slow period now. We have got 2 major games out this week: Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and Stalker 2. But the next couple of weeks are going to be quite bizarre. And can you believe this, folks? Can you believe this? There is only 3 more shows after this one till Christmas. Can't believe I say that. So there's only 2 more normal shows after this, and then we've got the Christmas special. Oh. So, which is our top 15 games.
Why would you say something like that?
I don't know, because I'm a narcissist. Fucking hell, yes. It's fucking November, I know, but it's December end of this week. So fuck it. But there you go. And anyway, there you go. So let's start with our first game, which we did mention. This is the second time this has come to console. This came out Tuesday last week. This is going to be a Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, which was out on PC and Xbox Series X and S. Let's have a look at the trailer for this. So there you go. Microsoft Flight Simulator. The second time this has ever come to console and has landed on Game Pass day one. Now, Kindred said about the fact that you could play the Ornihops from June. I think that was the last one. That was a DLC for the last one. Microsoft Flight Simulator came out. But the last one did really, really well and surprised a lot of people. How good it was, especially on console. And we even streamed it a couple of times. This one adds a lot of new stuff. Obviously, there's the stuff that you expect, that you can set up your flights, learn how to fly, go from point A to point B. But as you can see, there's lots of other things. There's basically crop dusting, there's rescue missions, there's loads of stuff that you can do. And they've added a ton of extra stuff into this game. Vet Gaming, good evening. Great to see you. So there's a lot more involved. So you can actually do physical missions as well in this one. This is the thing they're pitching for the latest one. And I'm sure we'll see lots of DLCs. Obviously, we got the June DLC with the last one, and we got a Top Gun DLC last time. But it looks like there's some F-15 fighter pilot bits as well. So, Jesse, did you ever play the one that came around literally about 2-3 years ago?
No, I didn't. I think I downloaded and just never got around to playing it. And I don't know, really. I think the issue with the game for the older generation who had been like me, who played it on PC, is that like, don't get me wrong, what I just saw looked amazing. Feels like a console game now. And I think if that's exactly what it's like on the PC, which I assume it is, then I can see that people on the PC who are the die-hard flight sim people will probably not like it as much as the old school flight sims. You know, I'm talking about the people who would take off on a plane in the morning, get it on cruise control, get home at night after work, and land the plane in Australia or whatever.
Yeah,
you know, and
you can still do that.
You can still do all of that stuff, but I just don't know that. I just don't know that necessarily, like, that crossover necessarily works exactly. But I think, having seen this trailer, I would actually be interested in playing this, because it looks really. I love all the crop sim that.
Yeah, I think now they've added that in, it looks really cool.
It looks really cool that they've actually got some stuff rather than just flying around aimlessly, which is what I always struggled with, because it's like, okay, cool, I've flown around a little bit now, and you know, we're from the dead. Do you remember the there was that World War II fight? I forget what it was called, but it was essentially flight sim, but you could. From about 15-20 years ago, there was a flight sim where you could fly around and shoot World War II planes and stuff.
Tons of them, yeah.
And like, well, it was the Microsoft version essentially. It was, I think, it was very much similar game engine, but just specific scenarios. And I think those scenarios are quite good. So I think the newer generation will like this a lot more than they would have done the latest flight sims. I think. Okay.
All right. Well, for those who haven't seen the show before, we don't technically review the games themselves. We take, or I should say, this week I take, because Dave's not here, a look at all the average scores across the board from all different websites, whether that be IGN, GameSpot, Metacritic, Eurogamer, etc. Grab all those scores and turn it into an average. Now, you may agree with it, you may not, but if you guess it right, you'll get a shout out in the chat. So we'll go with a look at see what scores on, and I'll ask Jesse in a second. So Danker was the first one. He said, not heard positive things, at least on the PC version, about this with endless queues, but I'm going with my heart on this, 8 out of 10. Gozzo says 8 out of 10. Ems is saying 8.5. Scrolling down. Ben says, it looks pretty, but Flight Simulator feels pretty niche, and Microsoft is normally enough to put people off. 7.5. Danker says, I just read the queue system has been removed since I read a review about it, but I'm still sticking to an 8. Dave, 7.5. Vet, I give it an 8. Ellie, 7. I'd rate Jesse a 9.5, but he loses 0.5 for being sassy at me last night. Slay. Wayne says 7. Jesse, what do you reckon this got?
Difficult, because I know we're going to talk about some of the issues later. And so I think that will have dropped it. I reckon it probably deserves an 8.5. But I'm going to go with 7.5 because I think it'll be artificially low at the minute.
Okay, 7.5. Like said, I heard this had a rough launch. 7 maybe. Last chance, folks. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, which came out last Tuesday on Xbox Series X, S, and PC, and is free on Game Pass. And if there are no more guesses in chat, it did, in fact, get a rough launch, and we will be talking about it a little bit later on in the show. With high scores, as high as 8, but with low scores as low as 4, it averaged out a 6 out of 10.
Jesus.
And I can say now that I didn't take into consideration the Steam reviews that we'll talk about, because the Steam reviews were a lot worse on average. So there you go. But yeah, only got a 6 out of 10. We'll talk about why it didn't get a good write-up and review score a little bit later on the show. But what we will talk about is the fact that Sony have been busy in the last week. We heard rumors about 5-6 days ago that they would potentially want to take over Kadokawa. Now, if people are sitting there going, never heard of it. Kadokawa is a subsidiary of From Software. And if you're still sitting there going, I don't know who that is, From Software, who made Bloodborne, Armored Core, the Dark Souls games, and obviously Elden Ring. They've basically put in a bid to basically get a bigger share. Sony actually only owns about a 10% share of this company. But Kadokawa also owns a number of anime companies. And Sony have recently purchased other anime companies such as Crunchyroll and other things like that. So they're basically not just looking to acquire the games, but also to acquire like the anime and entertainment side of things. They are basically looking From Software. Technically, is about 70% of the company of this. So they basically want to put a bid in, and literally the next day after this happened, the team from Kadokawa said the rumors are true. They have put in some interest to buy us, and we are seriously considering it. Now, we haven't heard anything else since, probably about Thursday last week, but it does mean that Sony basically want to grab a load of anime properties and a load of stuff such as Elden Ring, Dark Souls, etc. Obviously, Bloodborne was a Sony-only game anyway for PlayStation, but they want to get other titles that you could get on other things. Seeing that we're always talking about companies closing, it makes a bit of a difference for a company wanting to be bought out, and they seem quite happy about it. Your thoughts on this, Jesse?
I mean, yeah, it's nice for the industry. I actually was going to make a jokey comment because I see Dankus said about monopoly situation. Yeah. If I was Microsoft, I'd basically just file a lawsuit against that just for the sake of it now.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got the spare cash. I'd just do it to piss them off. But because I'll be honest, that whole Sony thing previously really pissed me off. But anyway, I seem to be the only one that cared. So, yeah. So the yeah, I mean, from a brand point of view, I'm not really an big anime person, so it doesn't bother me. But to be honest, like, great if it's helping the industry move forward, then cool.
Yeah, and we'll find out more like as it goes on. As I say, it was literally rumored on I think Wednesday, and then by Thursday it was confirmed. And I think obviously Sony are not just doing it for the games; it's all the other properties for the anime stuff. Because as I say, Sony really want to build on their whole entertainment empire more so. Yeah. So the games is actually just a little supplementary bit. So we'll see if that goes through. Moving on to our second game of the night. Now, this is a game that we've talked about lots over the years of the show. It originated on PlayStation. I think it was just last year that it finally arrived on Xbox. and now it gets its Nintendo Switch release. We are talking about Stray, the wonderful game where you play as a cat. Let's have a look, because this has now landed as of last Tuesday on Nintendo Switch. Meow. So there you go, folks. Stray has finally made it to Nintendo Switch. This featured in our top 15 games of the year when it came out, when it was on PlayStation, because I thought this game was absolutely fantastic. Really, really enjoyed it. And I think that was back in 2021, I think. I might be wrong. Let me know. But I'm sure the Xbox release was last year on for 2023, and now we get it on Switch for 2024. A number of people were giving scores already, but we'll go into it. Jesse, did you ever play Stray?
I played it a little bit on PlayStation. So my old housemate had PlayStation, so I played it a little bit on there. Not as much as I'd like to have done. Loved it as a game. Thought it was amazing. Loved the artwork, the graphics, the style of play. I thought was brilliant. Deserved all the high ratings it got. And actually, I think it's a perfect game for a Switch to me. Mm-hmm. You know, it's that kind of the sort of thing that somebody could quite happily just sit and play. It's quite a lot of adulty themes in there though for kids to play, but
it's not really a kid game.
Not really. So I think might get a few issues there with parents not realizing that this little cute cat game is a bit
more sinister,
emotional in places. But I think it's a great game. So
there you go. Gozzo said it actually came out in 2022. Flipping heck. Okay. Wow. So it came out in 2022, and then Xbox must have been last year, and then obviously Switch. I thought it would have been out longer than that. I don't know. So it must have been featured in our top 15 games of 2022. Then there you go. Manic, good evening. How you doing? Good to see you. Let's see what people are saying. Ryan, good evening. How are you doing, buddy? Ryan reckons this is an 8. Ben says it's an 8. Danker says an 8. Kindred says 9. Loved it on PlayStation. So did I. M says an 8.5. Gozzo says an 8. Dan says a 9. Folks, get your scores in. We're talking about Stray has finally made it to Nintendo Switch as of last Tuesday. Manic is saying an 8. Jesse, what do you reckon this got?
I'm going to go in amongst the middle of everybody, so I'm going to go for an 8.5.
Going for an 8.5. Okay. Folks, last chance. Get your scores in. If you want to get a shout out in the chat. So second, another game I haven't got round to playing yet. Ems, do it. It's brilliant. Seriously. Can't fault it. Absolutely brilliant. iQuell says 8.5. And Flame says an 8. And Dave says a 6.5. Oh, he's not enamored with it. And if there are no more guesses, I can tell you this probably didn't score as highly as it did when it was on PlayStation and Xbox, but it still did score very highly because it got an 8 out of 10. So there you go. That's well done. Manic changed his score before I put the score, so unfortunately he's not going to get a shout out. He's going to regret that. Flame, well done. Gozzo, well done. Danker, well done. Ben, well done. See, he says he never gets any right, but he got one right there. Ryan, well done. Congratulations for getting all those right. There you go. And you just missed it by a whisker there, Jesse. Just by a whisker. There you go.
By a whisker. Thanks.
Yeah,
nice.
See if anyone noticed. There you go. But yeah, if you've never played it yet, shout out to the devs for this. Definitely big shout out to the devs. But yeah, if you've not tried it and you've got a Switch, do it. You won't regret it. It's definitely worth getting. So obviously we started the show with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and talking about how it had a rough release. Well, let's go into why the scores are so bad for it and what actually happened with this release, folks. So basically it had pretty bad launch, literally from Tuesday last week. A lot of people that are playing it on PC or Xbox would be able to download the game, get into the game, but then literally be lucky if they could even take off because they were literally grounded on the tarmac. Some were just stuck in loading screens and in a queuing system. Now, the team that put the game together very quickly put out a statement and did a live video statement to answer people's questions, which I think is quite bold of them because you could get a lot of shit for it. And they basically stated that they had tested the servers for a good 5 months, right, to get everything ready, and were pretty much geared to having 250,000 people playing on day one of launch.
Right.
What they didn't anticipate is that there was a hell of a lot more than 250,000 people that wanted to play it on day one launch, and therefore their servers buckled, and there was an error in the caching department. And rather than caching people into the game and then queuing them up and sending them off on a flight, it stuck them in the cache and continued to just cache and not do anything. They then couldn't find out what the problem with it was. So then they tried to investigate further. They then thought they'd solved it. And for about 30 minutes the next day, they were like, great, it's up and running. We got it working, for it to all fall down again the following day. They have basically been committed to fixing the problem. Basically, because of this, it has got absolute shit ton of bad and negative reviews on Steam and other websites. Now, if you go onto Metacritic and you look at the user score, I will actually bring this up because it's not often that I show this. But if you go to the thing now, the review scores were coming in at 8. Now, a lot of reviewers decided to hold off on reviewing it. And Metacritic has only just published it today, which is interesting, seeing it's been out for a week. If I just share my screen, because it's not often I do this. Let's show you this, folks. This only appeared today, and it's been out a week. But if I go to this, the critics, as I said, a lot of the critics were giving it 8. But look at the user score, 3.5. That's actually dropped. That was at 4.5 at the weekend. So the user scores got worse. So when I worked out all the average scores, I mean, look, some reviews are giving it 0, which is absolutely batshit crazy. But it hasn't.
Well, it is 0 because they can't play it, can they?
Well, yeah, it is 0. Yeah, can't play it. He said, released in a state of quality one would expect of an alpha, not $100 package. Does it say what the Xbox reviews were? See, Xbox, I mean, again, there's still reviews are only just still coming in for this. But yeah, it did not fare well. And it's absolutely got review bombed on Steam. And probably the Steam reviews are worse than this 3.5 you're seeing right here. So yeah, not very good. And that overall 8 on Metacritic is only based on 4 reviews, when normally Metacritic will have a lot of reviews. So this is why I didn't really go with this, because this wasn't even published when I wrote the show.
Wow.
I got it from a lot of other review sites. So this has literally appeared in the last 2-3 hours.
I've got a lot of thoughts on this because,
yeah, please,
as you know, well, as Mag will know, but most of the people in the chat won't know, my day job is working with Microsoft software. I work for a Microsoft partner. Now, not in the gaming industry, but their ethos across how they release product is not great, because they rely heavily on the idea that products are cloud-based. Yeah. So Microsoft do an awful lot of pushing stuff out half-assed and going, well, it doesn't matter because we'll just fix it and do a release. which kind of works in the business world because there isn't a lot of competition. In the business world, people don't put out lots of bad reviews and things like that. And so, but when it comes to consumer stuff, Microsoft are great at the business side of things, but when it comes to consumer stuff, it just doesn't work like that and puts people off. And so this is the kind of thing that happens. And the second half of the thing that I've got to say about this is Microsoft are having problems with their servers. They literally own the server farms. They're one of the biggest server farm owners in the world. You know, Microsoft base everything on their Azure technology and servers and things. So if they're putting out their own products on servers and can't get it right, it's really, really, really shit marketing for the entire business. So like, even though it's game based and I work in business side, it's a very different world to what it used to be. People just see it all as one company, one thing. You know, people buy in business the same way that they buy personally now. Everything's crossed over. You know, people buy business phones that are the same as their personal phones and things like that. And Microsoft just can't get their heads around the fact that the consumer world is actually important to their business world.
I also surprised me that they only thought 250,000 people were going to play this on launch.
How did they come with that?
It was going on Game Pass worldwide day one, right?
Yeah, and realistically, if they thought, like, to me, I would be looking at what you can't do something like this and not think about stretch targets, stretch goals. You know, realistically, if they could have put 100 people or 1,000 people on and only allowed enough service room for half of that to see what happened. And the whole point of their own server system, Azure servers, is that you can essentially change the load really easily. So the fact that they've then basically breached their server capacity for what they've allowed and then just haven't allowed it to expand was against their whole marketing ethos for their product. It's mad. It's absolutely insane. So I think realistically that average score will go up as it fixes itself and people fall in love with the game and they can actually play it. But
I think it will all get fixed in time, but it won't go down as a good release. I know a lot of people were expecting it to be a good release. Soon as I heard about it, I didn't even bother checking it out.
No, I didn't.
It's kind of like that. But then it was interesting to see how long it took for reviews to get out because they really held back on reviews. So I don't know whether there was some form of embargo going on. But the fact that certain reviews have only just started to pop and appear today, I was like, oh.
The thing is, it's not like it was causing problems like in the game. It just was stopping people playing.
It just stopped people playing it.
It's very difficult to write a review on something.
The game itself, for the people that got into it and actually played it, it's great.
Yeah.
But nearly the majority of people that were trying to play it couldn't actually play it, and that was the issue. Dan says, I didn't think, in my opinion, a Microsoft could get any lower, but fair play, it has. Deadly Pilgrim, hello, welcome, great to see you. Manic says, questions to both of us. Have you seen the upcoming Chapter 6 screenshots on Fortnite? No. That was great. Both said that at the same time. No, so there you go. Sorry. We will no doubt play some Fork Knife as part of the Christmas community games. That will happen. That will be a thing. So, on to our next game, folks. This also came out last Tuesday on PC. And this is a game, I believe, that's based on a true story. What that true story is, I have no idea. But this game is called Threshold, and it came out on PC. Have a look at this. This has got very much a retro vibe. Let's check it out. There you go. That is Threshold, which came out on PC last week, which is based on a true story, all about when basically humans probably shouldn't mine in certain places and cause basically a huge ecological disaster, as you can see. But it's done. So Grand Designs, hello, Grand Designs 4 says this is made by the same person who made that mouthwashing game that is pretty messed up. I don't know about the mouthwashing game, but I get the feeling this is going to be quite on the nose, like it's going to pull no punches. It's going to be like lots of people die. There's a big disaster, that's kind of thing. And you're there to figure out what's going on and maybe try and stop it. But I'm guessing it never did get stopped because, as you saw, shit started to explode and flood everywhere. So yeah, never a good thing. Never a good thing. What we got? Definitely have a good engaging preview, says Vet Gaming. I'm going to give this a 7. Manic says a 7 for this one. Dan said, oh, it's PS1 vibes. Danka said the sound sounded like it was farting in a pipe. Well, ironically, there were sewer drains, so it probably was farting in a pipe. Gozzo says a 7 as well. Jesse, your thoughts on this one? Because this is definitely intriguing, isn't it?
Yeah, interesting. It's the sort of thing that I'll watch you stream and not play myself.
Yeah,
basically. These sorts of games, I just can't be asked, really. Like I like a puzzle, like proper puzzly game.
Yeah.
Like these sorts of things where it's all mystery and intrigue and stuff. Like I kind of like. For me, it's what streaming is all about. Is those sorts of games where you kind of discover it with a bunch of people and fine. But I think maybe if I streamed myself and you were again discovering it with a bunch of people, great. But it's just not the sort of thing that I would play really. But it's an interesting idea.
Okay, all right. Well, let's see what other people got scores with. Emsy saying a 7.5. Flamey saying a 7.5. Ben's not sure on this one, so he says 6.5. Deadly Pilgrim is saying 6.5. Danker is saying an 8. Dave Johnson is saying at 7.5. Kindred is saying 6.5. Deadly Pilgrim said, I'd rather watch paint dry on this one, which is fair enough. Jesse, what do you reckon this got?
I mean, I'd rather watch paint dry, which is why I'd watch it on your stream.
Motherfucker.
And that was the last time Jesse got invited on.
There you go. I'll just do that. Right, thanks. Thanks for our guest tonight, Jesse. No, I'm not doing that to him.
I'm going to go with a 6 because
going for a 6.
I just can't see it being a big scorer, really.
Okay. All right, no worries. Grand Designs at 4 says an 8. Iquale says a 7. Gilfly, good evening. Says, sorry I'm late. Don't have to apologise, dude. Great to have you here, as always. Hi, Jesse. Hi, Mag. Hi, chat. There you go. Vet says, well said, Jesse. There you go. Vet Gaming's got your back. All right, folks. Last chance. This is Threshold, which came out last Tuesday on PC. Let us know your scores. Obs, good evening as well. He says, how dare you be late, Gil? Don't worry. It's not a... I'll give Jesse a 10 just for that comment. There you go. Well done, Vet Gaming. Folks, last chance. Get your scores in. I'm literally going to press the button in 3, in 2, in 1. Well, ironically, this is the highest scoring game of the night so far because this got an 8.5 out of 10 on average.
Sure.
Yeah. There you go. Moonbeard says Dave's got lovely hair this week.
Yeah, but he knows fuck all about games.
Yeah. He swapped the game intelligence for the hair. That's the trade-off. We will give you hair, but you have to forget everything you knew about games. Deadly Pilgrim says, not a chance that got an 8.5. Dave says, that even surprised me. Manic's like, what? Were we all watching the same trailer? Nobody said 8.5. No, nobody said 8.5. We're really catching people out with the games.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
All these people in chat who love retro games, and love their old-fashioned graphics and all the rest of it, and they're surprised the game that's got like 3 pixels on the screen did well.
Yeah, I know. Bizarre, isn't it? Dan's happy. Easy night for him. He's hardly had to do any shout-outs. It's been great. It's been fantastic. There you go. Right. Going from PS1 graphics to something that's had an upgrade in graphics and much more. Star Wars Outlaws had a huge patch, the 1.4.0 patch, which also included the first of the DLCs that if you paid extra in advance, you could play. And this is the Lando Calrissian DLC, which we will no doubt talk about on a future show, or I may even stream it at some point. I don't know. We will see. But it's basically, this patch has changed a lot of things. Now, I've not actually finished the game yet. I kind of got sidetracked with some other games, so I'm more than halfway through. So I'm interested to see what it's like, because they basically said this patch is game-changing for many reasons. One, the AI in the game is a hell of a lot better. Two, the sneaking around and stuff is now not mandatory. It got so annoying that if you're doing stealth and you get caught, you have to start the mission right from the beginning again. That has been scrapped. If you're caught, it kicks off and you have to fight your way out. So the only way you're going to fail the mission is if you die. You can also go into the different areas where you're supposed to sneak around. And normally, again, if you got caught, you got thrown out the area. No, you can go in guns blazing and kick the shit up. So basically, stealth has been nerfed. Again, right? So seeing as it's supposed to be a sneaky game where you're supposed to steal shit, you can go around guns blasting. The other thing, which I think is great, because this is one of my biggest bugbears of the game, even though I did enjoy the game, is that if you found other weapons, if you climbed up a ladder or got an event, you would drop it. If you were going to a different area, you would drop it. So you could never keep that gun. You can now keep all the new weapons, whether it's the sniper rifle, the rocket launchers and that, until you run out of ammo. And you can keep it whether you're climbing up ladders, getting on bikes, whatever. The only places you can't use them are in like the friendly areas, like the hub worlds. So they've actually changed a lot. But there is the question of the fact that it came out in August. All these things have been addressed and they've kind of added it in. So people are saying the game's a lot better now. But it's that thing of, is it too little, too late? Because we're now at the end of November. So it's taken them 3 months to sort this out. But they clearly listened to the feedback of what people said. Because I know the thing with the guns did my head in. It's like, why are you allowed to pick up other weapons if you can't fucking use them anywhere? It was really stupid. It's like, oh, you can use it in this little area, but as soon as you move out of it, you have to give up the weapon. It annoyed me. But there you go. There you go. What are your thoughts, Jesse?
I was just trying to have a quick look. Do you know what age rating it's based on?
What, Star Wars Outlaws?
Yeah, is it an adult game?
I'm trying to think. Oh, I can't tell you because I've not got a physical copy. My copy was... let me have a look.
My copy was sent to me.
Yeah, I know. Which also means I can play that DLC for free.
Yeah, for free.
Yeah. Mind you, do you know what's funny? Ubisoft have not asked me to cover the DLC yet. I can quite openly talk about that. There's been no talks of me doing any content for Star Wars Outlaws for the foreseeable future.
I know I'm old enough to play it, Ellie. I've got enough grey hair to play any game these days. The only reason I say it is because
I can't find the figure rating.
Because we're coming up to Christmas now, so it's good that they fixed the game, August release game. Yeah. I bet a lot of people will buy it to give to people. Ah, there you go. People have said 12.
Oh, it's a 12. There you go. Because again, there's not going to be any blood. You can go in and shoot everyone. And,
yeah. So I think probably getting it sorted for now, and the reviews going up a little bit from people playing it, or probably, I'm sure they'll do just fine. It's Star Wars, isn't it? So
yeah. There you go.
I think it does feel a little like it's taken a long time, but I think we're just used to a world where, especially, I think you can get sucked into the streaming world a little bit, where everybody's rushing to play all the games, but everybody else is just taking their time to get around to playing it, and so I expect a lot of people get it for Christmas, and a lot of people start playing it now. People waiting for the problems to get solved. So.
Deli Pilgrim says the fact that they're listening to players does really entice me to give it a try. See, yeah. I was going to put it on the back burner and play it over Christmas and finish it over Christmas. I'm more likely to go back straight to it and finish it now, and then maybe play the DLC over Christmas. Peggy 12 was for Outlaws. There you go. Thank you. I still find it odd that games get released in a state and then get fixed later. Why piss off the biggest audience you're ever likely to have? What am I missing? And the only thing is, Star Wars Outlaws was not a bad game, but it didn't sell well, and it basically got very average reviews. But it seemed to get a lot of hate, and I don't think it deserved the hate. And I'm not just saying that because I'm an Ubisoft partner. If I generally don't like a game, I will not like a game, and I'll tell you about it because there's a game that's coming up soon, which we will talk about. But yeah, what that company you keep trash talking haven't sent you the DLC. Yeah, maybe that's why. There you go. Can I ask, what is the picture in Big Jesse's background? It looks like some kind of deformed Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, it's the it's Paulie.
Is it that one you're talking about? Because that's the pigeon.
Yeah, that's the pigeon from Headbangers, the Team 17 game that came out a year ago. Our dear beloved friend Paul interviewed the pigeon for Newton's Nuggets with Jesse. So yeah, that is the pigeon from, and that was from WASD September last year. So there you go. Ob says it's gone very cheap on PC, so if you're looking in the right places for Outlaws, indeed. Games Guru, evening all. Mag, I'm here, good buddy. What have I missed? Just talking about the fact that Star Wars Outlaws has just had a new patch, which actually has made it better. So there you go. You're going to show the picture off. There you go. There it is. Bless it. There you go. There we go. When games came out on cassette and disc, it had to be complete, finished and polished. Otherwise, the developer didn't get paid. True. Oh, yeah, I see it now, says Danker. Good to see you, JL. Good to see you, buddy. Good to have you. There you go. Lots of love. It's simple. Unfortunately, we live in a digital age where a game can be released in any state, and a says we can fix it in a day one patch because they can. But ironically, half the time, the day one patch does not fix it. So there you go. What did Grand Design say? I missed the question. He asked the question. Oh, yeah. That's that. There you go. Ben, thank you so much. Good night. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. Tell that to Cyberpunk 20. I agreed. It took them fucking 3 years to fix that game. Fuck me.
And on the plus side, Mag hardly ever mentioned it.
Yeah, I hardly ever mentioned it for 3.5 years. There you go.
Oh God, here we go. We'll mention EGX in a minute. It'll be in full rant mode.
EGX? No, I'm not doing that. I can't be asked to mention that anymore. Plus, share does have power over the. They do. That's very true, Obs. It's now the shareholders go, we're going to lose money, so you need to get this out. Mag never played Liberty City. What, the original? Yes. Not the shit stain of one that they remastered, if I've got that right. I never played that. But apparently that's been fixed as well, actually. Only took them 2 years to fix that. Oh, no, you mean Cyberpunk. Was it called that? Liberty City, the DLC. I did play that. I streamed that last summer when it came out. I streamed that because I said I would never play Cyberpunk live on stream ever again after dedicating 17 weeks to that piece of Shit.
Phantom
Liberty it was called. You saying Liberty City, I'm thinking of GTA. Phantom Liberty was excellent and I could not knock it. I thought they brought...
And he really wanted to.
Don't get me wrong. I wanted to rip the shit out of it. But Phantom Liberty was an excellent DLC. And it actually meant that the whole of Cyberpunk, the game itself, is what it should have been. But no, Liberty City is a fucking GTA, mate. You got that confused, buddy. First time I've heard him mention it, but maybe I just don't pay attention to it. I mean, you're good to not to. Or if you're Bungie and have released Destiny 2 updates and break the game more and then break it again with the patch. Good old Destiny 2. There you go. So there you go. Well, for once, there's been a patch which has actually made the game better. So, if you haven't tried Star Wars Outlaws, do give it a whirl. As Ob says, it's cheap on PC. I'm actually going to reveal something that not a lot of people know about. Coming for this Black Friday week, Ubisoft have actually sent me a special code because obviously I'm an Ubisoft partner. You can get discounts on anything from the Ubisoft store for any platforms. And I will have a new code, which will be going live tomorrow. And also I get a kickback from Ubisoft for every game sold. So if you have a look at their Black Friday sale, you may pick up a bargain, and you also might get a bit of a discount off it as well.
If we buy Xbox games,
if you buy Xbox games from Ubisoft, it has to be the Ubisoft store. So PC, Xbox, PlayStation from the Ubisoft store. Use my code, you will get a discount, and I get a kickback. So there you go. So that's
really like helping you out very much, but
but yeah, let's just help Star Wars Outlaws out because it didn't sell well, so that needs help. So should I mention Anthem? That was another great example. Okay, old fire, everyone. Old fire, everyone. What I find funny is that game publishers release clearly unfinished games early under the title Early Access, and people will pay extra. Yeah, that's a different kettle of fish, Games Guru. Early access is something when you know you are paying for a game that's not finished, but you're getting to preview it, and technically you're helping them to fix the bugs. Technically, not all, but the majority of those games that are early access are through independent developers. Not all, but some. So they haven't got the workforce to try and test this as constantly. So they use their audience to test it. And sometimes when the final game comes out, it's great. Outlast Trials being a great example this year. And sometimes they come out and the games are worse. I'm not going to mention any names, but there have been a few. Still, full games aren't fully polished, so they think so. There you go. But it isn't early access. It's an early release. It's not because you don't get the full game and you don't get access to everything. You get early access to some bits of it. So there's a difference. And yes, you might pay extra for it. And Vet Gaming says it's a double-edged sword because also I've seen people get burnt by this. I'm not going to go too far into this because we're going way off track. But I have seen people who've paid for an early access version, right? No, that's different. Games Guru, Star Wars Outlaws was not early. No, that's not what we're talking about here. That was 3 days early. Pay extra for 3 days early. But that was not paying for a game that wasn't due to come out for about a year. Something completely different. There's early access was the full game. Yeah, there's two different types of early access. It's early release. Early access is something completely different. So there you go. So yeah, it's one thing. Early access is something completely different. Early release, they do a lot, but normally you don't get more than 3 days. And that's it. And really, they've already done the day one patch when that's come out. So there you go. Fortnite was in early access when it was just Save the World. I call early release. No, dude, you're fine. But I want to make that differentiation because it's two completely different things. Early access, they say there are bugs because they know there is, but they want to do it so they can have player-wide feedback. Exactly. Helps the game. Exactly that. Early release is you've paid extra to play the game. Like people get FIFA and get to play FIFA 4 days early so that they can rank higher than other people who start playing it the following weekend or whatever. There you go. There you go. FC25 was 10 days early. Wasn't full game, was buggy. Yeah, but that's down to EA. Save the World will always be in early access, though. Phasmo and PUBG. Yeah, again. Exactly. But as I said, Outlast Trials was out for a year in early access. So there you go. There's loads of games, but there's a difference between early release and early access and paying for an early release. It's a different kind of thing. Anyway, enough of that shit. Let's talk about a game that has been very anticipated for a long, 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 long time. And I did get to play it on Thursday. This came out last Wednesday on Xbox Series X and S and PC. And also, like Microsoft Flight Simulator, landed day one on PC. I will give you my thoughts on it. Some of you who watch the stream will know what I think of it. I also know that Sophie, who started streaming it, started playing it, not streaming it, has also got thoughts on it. I know she's not here, but I'll say what she thought about it a little bit later on. But this is Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. Let's have a look at the trailer.
The greatest temptation is trying to control something we do not fully understand. But what do we do when faced with truly inexplicable? Some tear it up to make souvenirs. Others keep it chained up inside a perimeter cage. Perhaps all the zone really needs is our compassion.
Yevhen Martinenko, 25 years old. Born in a small town, loved a good book, but preferred a good fight.
They took something precious from you.
Yes.
In your search for the truth, you had the courage to enter this zone.
And then, what happened? A tragedy most horrible? Or a joy most profound?
What if the scanner gets damaged in the fighting? These are not stalkers, but former monolithians.
Some come to the zone to make money. Others come looking for a miracle. Many just want to find happiness. A way to feel real and alive again.
I'm sure you can handle it. One way or another.
There is nothing you can keep secret. It's just a matter of time.
Name.
I'm not looking to make friends. Skiff.
And if we do nothing, houses on the mainland will continue to burn and collapse. If you fight a soldier, you're only fighting yourself.
There you go, folks. That's Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. Now, obviously, this was a game that was originally due to come out in 2021, but due to the war in Ukraine and Russia, the devs were basically literally fighting for their lives and fighting to get this game finished, and we finally got a release last week. Obviously, this game is based on the Stalker games, first released 14 years ago. You play a new character who's basically thrown into an area, and you are a stalker, which is basically hired guns for hire to basically go do jobs, collect things, etc., etc. It's what you do. But you're in a highly radiated and also sort of slightly twisted mythical version of Chernobyl, where there's sort of entities and mutated animals and other things, and basically gangs out for blood. I'll let Jesse talk about this first. And there you go. So Deadly Pilgrim says the fact they developed and created this before and during the war is amazing, and it's such a stunning game. Games Guru, what was your honest opinion of Stalker 2 then, Matt? I will talk about that in a minute based on my playtime. I will tell you shortly. Jesse, your thoughts on this game?
I'm probably not the best judge because it's not the sort of game I would play. So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
You know, I think having seen the game and watched the trailer felt a lot more exciting than the actual gameplay. And maybe if you play for a long time into the game and you really stick with it, you might get some of that more exciting, action-y type stuff.
Yeah.
But the actual game itself felt a bit slow to me, and I know it's that kind of horror genre sort of game where the graphics aren't amazing, but it didn't feel like a new game. It felt like, you know, maybe a console or two behind graphics wise. So like, it just didn't wow me at all, really. I think that was the biggest thing. I mean, I wouldn't play anything particularly horror anyway, as when you went from the trailer back to the screen and I saw myself and it jump scared me that I saw my I don't know if anybody noticed that, but I kind of zoned out watching the trailer and suddenly it was my face. But yeah, so yeah, horror's not for me. But yeah, I just it just didn't really games like that didn't really excite me. I didn't think the story was that interesting enough either. So like I watched plenty of people streaming horror games. Again, that's the sort of thing that I generally like watching horror games because of all the stories and things. And I know people have said that some people have moaned that's been a bit janky, but I find horror games are a bit like that anyway. They're a bit, you get stuck on bits of wall and all the rest of it. So I don't know. It just doesn't really excite me very much.
Yeah. I was very excited for this game. I was very, very excited for it. I can tell you the fact that Sophie was also very hyped for this, and she is not enjoying playing it. From what she's told me, I was massively disappointed with this. I saw reviews that basically said the PC version is better than the Xbox version. Obviously, I played it on Xbox. There are still a few bugs on the PC version, but they're nothing really game-breaking. I wouldn't say there is any sort of game-breaking bugs, but, well, actually there is, because we discovered one on the Xbox. But I think there was a lot more bugs on the Xbox version. We had enemies that weren't there, that couldn't be seen, that were shooting at me, that I couldn't shoot because they weren't there. We had enemies that could shoot through concrete walls. We had enemies that disappeared into buildings, so like the half the bodies there. And one of the worst things that we had happen was the fact that it did a save file for me and loaded me back in the game and immediately killed me and kept reloading it and killing me and reloading and killing me. So I couldn't actually do anything. So I had to go further back to another save file because the game had basically put me in an impossible situation. It's a 40-hour plus game, this game. And people, I guess, it's one of those games that I guess if you do stick with it, it is supposed to be very good. Again, story, not so much. Character models, not so much. But the actual atmosphere and the graphics in terms of what the world looks like and with the storms and the radiation and everything, that looks phenomenal. The gunplay in it, I actually enjoyed. And it does feel like it's not holding your hand because you don't know where the enemies are going to come from. But some of the AI enemies are really fucking dumb. And then some are... So you have some stood there that I could just go up behind them and they weren't there and just shoot the shit out of them. But then I had some who were like miles away and only shooting with a machine gun, but like had sniper pinpoint accuracy and would kill my health off in one go. And I'm like, what? Like I couldn't even see where they were.
Yeah.
So that is, I know that's been issues that have come up. And it just kind of spoiled it for me. And I've always said, if I'm trying to like a game, that's never a good thing. And unfortunately, I really was trying to like this. Would I go back to it? Maybe once it's had another patch. But I'll probably have a backlog and this will probably get forgotten, which is a shame.
I think the key thing you said to me there is it's a long game, so it's 40 plus hours, right?
Yeah.
But the story ain't great. Well,
yeah. The story is basically...
If you've got to play like 20 hours of a game for it to start, for the gameplay to start getting good, and there's no story to get you there.
The whole compromise is you get fucked over while trying to do an experiment. And then the story is you go after one guy who will then lead you to another guy that will lead you to another guy that will lead you to the guy that fucks you over. And that's it. That is the story. And I'm just like, that. Now I know that. And that's after watching the reviews. I was like, I can't be arsed with that. If issues are fixed and I'd co-op, I may play it, but I think I'd rather go to IKEA. Wow. Yeah. I probably wouldn't go that far. But there you go. Let's see what
the hellish wasteland that is IKEA.
I know, yeah. Yeah, the new Chernobyl. 7 looks nice, just bugs and issues. Let's have a look. Seems an odd choice for making a sequel in almost 14 years it's been. 14 years since the first one, but I agree. We've got any other scores. 8 Alien Stalkers out of 10. Not got many scores in. Get your scores in now. Flat Pack 2. The Fall of IKEA. But yeah, get your scores in, chat. Let us know what you think. This is Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, which came out last Wednesday. Ems is saying a 7.5. Vet Gaming is saying a 7. Dave is saying a 7. Jesse, what do you reckon this got?
I'm going 6.5.
6.5.
And I think that's generous, personally.
Do you know, I don't normally say this, but if based on my stream, that is what I would have given it. Yeah. About a 6 or a 6.5. Gilfly says a 7. Danker says a 7. Iquel says a 7. Garzo says a 7. Any more, folks? Any more? Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, came out last Wednesday on Xbox Series X and S and PC, and is free on Game Pass. Ellie says a 6. Kindred says on Xbox 6, PC 7. If you get either of those right, I'll give you that, because that's a fair assessment. Flame says a 6. But I can tell you, I think the reviewers have been a little bit more. Fleabag says a 6.5. The reviewers have been a little bit nicer, even though they did pinpoint a lot of the bugs, because of the circumstances of this game and the fact that one of the people on the team did get killed in the war, who was working on the game. And they basically gave it a 7.5 out of 10. So M's got that right. Well done, M's. Congratulations. Nice, so it's interesting. It got a good review. I wouldn't say it got an amazing review, but it got a good review on average. So there you go. Well done.
And it's also the first one that Dave's lied about getting right today.
It is the first one, because he was 0.5 off. I didn't get that right at all. Well done, Ems. Congratulations. You get a shout out. And don't forget, folks, please do give all these wonderful people a follow on their channels. They take the time to watch us crazy people do this show every week. So he said, tradition has been satisfied. Well done, Dave. Can't break tradition. But yeah, please do go give these wonderful people a follow. Moving on, I thought this story was quite funny. So we obviously were talking about GTA 6. There's been lots of theories about the fact that we're going to get a new trailer. We're going to get new information. Rockstar are going to put more info out for us very, very soon. You have to quit 5 times yet. You still got to do that. I'll allow you to use my other well-known line. There you go. I think he already has. He's just put it in chat for you. Times 5. So we had the big GTA trailer that dropped, right? Legendary cough, Reddit cough. Yeah. And then there was this theory that when a screenshot came out for a GTA 5 add-on, there was the way they put the characters in the picture basically made the Hollywood sign look like it had 6, because the sign was cut off, if that makes sense, with the W. So people said, GTA 6. And there was a big moon. And they were like, does that mean the next time we get a full moon, we're going to get a new GTA trailer? Or are we going to get a new... Because there was this whole conspiracy of we're going to get this, right? So...
Oh, my God.
Because the GTA 5 update was called the Moon Festival. And it had the T-shirts on. So they were like, all right, so GTA 6 is going to get announced next time the moon comes around, right? So... there was a lot of speculation. And on November the 2nd, another screenshot was dropped from GTA 6, which featured the moon again, quite prominently in screen. Right. So people going, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. New GTA trailer. It's going to happen. And that full moon came and fucking went, and there was no trailer.
I mean, if I were making the graphic, having seen all that shit people coming up with, I'd have put a big fucking moon on there as well.
Yeah.
Lead them down the wrong garden path. I mean, seriously. I mean, I was going to say this earlier, but like, I don't know. I'm just not one of those people who wants to get all the bits ahead of time. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? So, like Manic said earlier about the drops of Fortnite, I like to go when it releases
Yeah.
and discover. And I've got a friend at work who's like this with all the like, if a Star Wars movie comes out and he's, have you heard about this and this release and this leak and blah 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 blah? No, I purposely don't bother. I just want to see it when it comes out. So and that's kind of how I am with it. So I'm just like,
there you go. This was the picture they were talking about, because the Hollywood sign, which is not called Hollywood because it's there, had the six in the background, and there's the Moon Festival, and of course the moon was there. And then the next picture that they dropped had the moon again prominently, so people were like, "Oh, this is what it's leading to." Yeah, it didn't.
See, if I were going to come to any conclusion, that there might be some sort of space mission.
Yeah, which there
And
might
even
be.
then, that's a stretch, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
The moon's in the sky. That's where it normally lives.
Yeah. It's supposed to come out in autumn 2025. Also, hello, Dark Siren. How you doing? Dan Games says, calling now, GTA 7 is going to be set on the moon. Maybe the Game Awards worthy image grabbing on a single item. See, we might get something announced at the Game Awards. Very true, which is only a couple of weeks away. It's all a trust me, bro source. Yeah, isn't it? Is trust me, bro. I know this is dropping. This is about as funny as what was his name? Florida Joker. Yo, GTA, we gotta talk, man. We gotta talk. I want 50 million, man. I'm in your game. You use my image. And then that went down to, yeah, GTA, we gotta talk. I'll take a $10 Pizza Hut voucher, man. Anything I can get, man. Yeah. Fucking joke.
I love Gangster Mag.
It's great, isn't it? We gotta talk. We gotta talk. I love that. It just pissed me. Hinting that Elon Musk is featuring in it. Maybe he is. Maybe he will. Maybe you'll get to shoot him into space.
Well, I imagine you'll end up driving some electric cars at some point. So.
Yeah, there's bound to be that in there. So we'll see. But yeah, I thought that was quite an amusing story.
I can imagine that you were, Dan. Yeah.
Yeah. He was the hooker in GTA 3 giving money.
Yeah.
Making an honest living. Nice. There you go. Let's move on to our next game. We'll have some more news for you very, very shortly. This came out last Thursday. This was on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is called Aloath and the Champions of the well, let me get this right. Champions of the Fair Kingdoms? I don't think that's right. Champions of the Three Kingdoms? I actually forgot what the Four Kingdoms. I was close. I was one off. Champions of the Four Kingdoms. It's basically a long title, so let's just play the
Champions of the Four Candles.
Four Candles. Nice. There you go. That's Aloath and the Champions of the Four Kingdoms. Not three. Sorry, I missed one out. I'm sorry for that one kingdom that we didn't talk about it. Yeah, this kind of got very sort of artsy graphics in this one, which obviously it's already been applauded for. But yeah, it kind of your RPG kind of things. We seem to get one RPG a week, but this seems a bit more. Seems like it's got a bit more something to it. Definitely. Jesse, your thoughts on looking at this one just from the trailer?
Yeah, I was going to say I'm not sure if I'm sold on the graphics, if I'm honest, but it did look a bit more interesting than normal, and I kind of like those sorts of games, really. I tend not to try. I try not to play them too much because they're the sort of game that I'll sit down and then 3 weeks has gone by and I don't know what's happened with the world, and I'm still playing the game.
Yeah,
I do get absorbed in them quite heavily. So yeah, no, I thought it looked really good. I genuinely interested in playing that. So
okay. A couple of people that like the look out of it. Manic says 7.5 champions out of 10. Vet Gaming 7.5. Danky says 8, but with my guessing tonight, it'll probably be lower. Dave Johnson says 7.5. Kindred says 8 Mind Flayers. Gozzo says 7.5. Get your scores in, folks, for this one. This came out last Thursday on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Jesse, what do you reckon this got?
I'm going to be positive for a change. I'm going to go 8 because I actually thought I'd play that, and people do like that kind of game.
Yeah, so. I think this could possibly do well. Ems is saying a 7. Gilflay says I'll say an 8. Going for an 8. Okay. Any more? That sounded like a doorbell then. I don't know whether it was, but I heard something.
I got an email.
You got an email. There you go. You got mail. There you go. Last chance to get your scores in, folks. This is Aloath and the Champions of the Four Kingdoms out last Thursday on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. You can pretty much get it on everything. Kindred says, looks like a cross between D&D, old Baldur's Gate, and Diablo-style games. Indeed. Dave sent an email to Jesse saying, I quit. There you go. Flame says an 8 as well. And if that is all, then I can tell you that our 5th game of tonight gets a very reasonable ka-ching! 8 out of 10. So well done, Jesse. You got it right.
One right.
There you go.
It's possibly only my 3rd one I got right this year.
There you go. 3rd one right this year, but it's now officially a hat trick. Dave says, well, that is fair enough. There you go. Well done, Flame, for getting that right. Obviously, Jesse is also our community member of the month, so please do go follow him. There you go. Can't even get one right. Guess today's RIP. Oh, I hit that by accident. Whoops. Guess today RIP. Gilfly, well done for getting that right. Kindred, well done for getting that right. Danker, it was like, I'm probably going to get this one wrong. Got it right. Well done. So there you go. Sticking with your guns. Well done for getting that right. Well done to all of you for doing that. There you go. Jesse's just like...
How did I flag that? Do you mean the community member of the month? I have no idea.
Yeah, or do you mean that you got the score right?
I got one right. I mean, eventually, I've guessed 3 million times this year. So eventually I'm going to get one right. It's
the old phrase, if you throw enough shit at the wall, eventually it'll stick.
Yeah. And the community member of the month is because I threw enough shit at Mag. So
and the community loved it. So they voted.
The community was here for it.
So there you go.
I did wear this just to make up for it.
Yeah, I know, which is cool. And much appreciated. There you go. Anyway,
you know, to 95% of the people that watch your show these days will have no idea what.
Nobody uses the mag swag thing anymore. We probably have to do a resurgence of that. But there you go. Jesse for new host says Bet Gaming. I mean, if I'll take the next 3 weeks off, that'd be fucking brilliant. I'll leave you with Dave. Well, when you realise the last 2 members of the month were me and then Jesse, then it's probably fixed. Well, I don't vote for it, so it can't be fixed. I don't get a say in it. We are never bringing the mag swag back.
Yeah.
We should bring the lurk at work back, though. That was a good one. It's always okay to lurk at work.
Well, the merch is available.
Merch for this is available. ! Merch in chat. If you want to buy these t-shirts, because frankly, I've got stock left and I fucking want to get rid of it. So you go. True story.
True story.
Yeah, but there you go. All right. What are we going to do next? Oh, yeah. He's not here tonight. But he was the one who sent me this news story. Will, Mr. Carrot, sent me this new story. And it actually goes really well with last week's show, the story we finished with on last week's show. Because last week we talked about Xbox basically stating, such a great sales pitch. Yeah, buy my shit. I don't care. There you go. Because Xbox has stated that they are in the process of making a handheld console. This is Xbox.
Okay.
But it won't be out for a number of years. And this week, it's come out that Sony are doing the same. Sony have announced that it's, again, several years away, but they are looking to do something that was similar to the PSP and the PS Vita, but they want to bring out a handheld console in a few years' time to basically rival Xbox and obviously whatever the next Nintendo console will be. Now, the nearest thing that we got to it in this generation was what I thought, or as I call, the piece of shit PS Portal, which is basically a handheld console that you can only use if you've got a PS5 and you're logged into the internet and your PS5 is on, which is the most fucking pointless thing ever.
And it's fucking expensive.
It's well fucking expensive, right? I know some people have argued and said it's a really good thing because it means that people can use the TV and I can go upstairs and play it and play my games. I was like, yeah, but what happens when you get on a bus or a train or something and you can't fucking use it like a Switch where you can? Anyway, let's not talk about that because we've already pissed on Sony's chips with that one. But Sony have already kind of basically said, we want to get a handheld console out and we want to do it in the next couple of years. However, there was a caveat with this. They did say that things could change down the line and they could scrap this. So we'll have to see. This is scarily becoming like QVC. What? Because I'm selling T-shirts. Buy my shit. There you go.
A phrase often heard on QVC.
yeah, you don't hear that. See, you're keeping it real.
If it was QVC, we'd be talking about the fabric for 50 minutes.
Oh, isn't it nice? And how soft it feels on my skin. I'm just like, buy a fucking T-shirt.
Where I'm a fat bastard, it fits really nicely.
Yeah. Buy a mug. I don't give a fuck. There you go. Saw a dual sense in half and glue it to a Kindle. Nice. It's getting a little better. Cloud beta launched. They did, yes, that's true. But you need PS Plus on it, yeah. Maglus, I don't mind Sony. Just I've made some really fucking stupid decisions this year.
I'll be honest. The Xbox handheld, Xbox hardware, and Microsoft and hardware generally does not excite me at all.
Yeah,
they normally fuck it up. They do a shit job of marketing it.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, a lot of people won't know this. Again, going back to the Microsoft thing again. But you know this, the new Apple Watch that's come out with all the features and updates. Yeah. A lot of people won't know that Microsoft even had a smartwatch that did half of that, like quite a lot of what the new Apple Watch does now. It did years ago, but nobody fucking bought it because Microsoft are just shit at that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then the same thing with the Windows Phone. I mean, they just did such a shit job of it. And actually, the Windows Phone as something to use. I really liked the operating software and the tiles and all of that, but it just didn't fucking market it very well and do a very good job of it. So
it's a funny thing because this is the other thing that surprises me, right? So everyone's getting hyped because they don't know what the next Nintendo console is. I know people are calling it Switch 2, but we don't actually know for a fact that it's going to do exactly the same thing as a Switch.
Yeah.
So it might not be a handheld thing at all. And yet you've got Microsoft and Sony going, oh, well, we want to go up against Nintendo. Ain't it going to be hilarious when Nintendo release their console and let's just say it's not a handheld thing? They might do a separate handheld thing like they did with like the DS and that. And then Microsoft and Sony go, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I think Microsoft's the majority of what they do. Now, bear in mind, I'm an Xbox person generally.
Yeah.
But generally Microsoft just beg, borrow and steal other people's IP.
Yeah.
release it half-assed and then do a cloud update. Well, you can't do that with hardware, so they're just fucked with the hardware. So
Yeah.
Oh, that was the other thing that they do. You know, all the augmented reality goggles and things.
Yeah.
The best technology on the market for years has been Microsoft. I bet half the people here don't even know they do one.
They never advertised it.
Never advertised it. So yeah, I just have no excitement for Microsoft hardware at all.
No, I'm quite happy that they're not doing a mid-gen refresh. I was happy about that when we talked about that on last week's show.
I know loads of people were saying about Microsoft might never do a console again, and they were upset about it. I'm thinking that's the best fucking thing for them, honestly.
Yeah, because they're not winning. Let's face it. The Switch has been out for donkey's years, like 2017, and is still the second best-selling console in the world, with PlayStation at top and Xbox is at third. So what? I don't think they should. A new handheld console called Timeless 900 with over 100 games on release can do the better than that one. We can do a special handheld called Timeless, which you can only play on one day, and there's over 400 games on it. That one.
It'll be damn sight cheaper than 200 quid to go to.
Fucking a lot cheaper, yeah. Yeah, there you go. You think it's got 3 zeros on it? It's only got 1 0 on it, so it's a lot cheaper. But there you go. Did anyone have a Gizmondo or the Nokia portable when they were around? No. If anyone did, let me know. Let's see. But yeah, there you go. But yeah, we will see. Again, when we know more, because Sony have basically just said, oh, well, we are doing this, but we may scrap it, we may not. We will let you know. But it does feel funny how a week after Xbox announced it, Sony went, well, we're going to do one as well. I'm like, oh, for fuck off. No one really cared about the Xbox one either. So it's like, why you... Yeah, there you go.
Read the room.
Yeah. So the complete opposite of a handheld in a converted mill. Yeah. But you will have the games in your hand because you use your hands to play the games. See? We thought it all out. We're clever.
And if you're not playing the games, you can hold each other's hands.
Yeah. See? There's a community feel to it as well.
Yeah.
Best console ever.
Yeah. But please don't feel the community.
No, because you could get arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's going to be a lot more security this year. Kissing booth. Don't even. I'm glad Sophie's not here, honestly.
I still like my Sega Game Gear with a battery utility belt. I love the fact that the Game Gear also came out with they had the TV tuner, and also had the thing where, because it's a portable device, also came with an AC adapter, which then meant it wasn't portable. So you plug it in and you didn't use batteries. So it kind of defeated the object of it being portable, but it meant you could play it all the time and not have to change batteries, because that Game Gear didn't half-eat batteries.
Yeah.
Kissing booth for the night entertainment. Not that Timeless is happening. No, I never said Timeless is happening. Just said that there's a handheld that may cost you a couple of quid where you can play 400 games and have a great day, for one day of the year. Just saying that. There you go. Anyway, moving on. Our final game of tonight. Let's end on something that's slightly humorous, something a bit more funny. This came out last Thursday. This is on Switch and PC. And a bit of a crime drama, this one. I like the look of this after I saw the trailer for this. This is called... this is basically what would happen if you had Murder on the Orient Express, but it had a sense of humour. This is called Loco Motive. Let's have a look at the trailer for this.
It's my desire that the Underworld estate be passed over in its entirety to...
It may just be a flesh wound. We've been accused of murdering Lady Unterval.
We've got our eyes on you, mister. Both pairs of them.
A sweet old lady, tragically cut down in her prime. We just want to know the truth.
We need to stop this train.
Was it money? Vengeance? A burning hatred for the elderly?
There is a killer among us, but I assure you they've made a great mistake.
Just saying. Being next issue, which is what's that due out? When's that due out? Probably before the Game Awards, isn't it? In February. So there you go. Still need to find to play Lucy's Dreaming. Lucy's Dreaming's good. Liking the side scroll design. Looks like a good old Monkey Island and Simon the Sorcerer kind of game. Remind me of the old LucasArts. That's the operating engine, by the way. I know. Looks cute. Yeah, January next issue. This game will feature in it. I like the look of this, and it's got a good sense of humour. Just from the bit where it's only a flesh wound and the blood goes all over the guy standing next to it. It's like, yeah, there you go. But yeah, a crime caper in the style of, like you've said, LucasArts games, things like Sam and Max, Manic Mansion, A Day of the Tentacle that have got a sense of humour. This looks really good fun, and I really, really like the look of this. I didn't even know this was a thing until about a week ago with this game. Jesse, your thoughts on this?
I think it's proof that you don't need to spend 300 years developing a game with incredible graphics. Actually, just create something that's fun to play with great humor and good voiceover artists, actual people doing cool jobs. It looks great. I think everybody's looked at this and gone, even if it's not a game style that you would normally play, because it's certainly not one I would play, it just looks great, doesn't it? So
yeah,
give it a go.
Jenny said, choo choo. Yeah.
Choo
choo, motherfuckers. Let's see. Scores. Games Guru says reckons this has got a 9. M says an 8. Manic says a 7.5. I did see a score from Danker. Where's it? Oh, there it is. Oh, yes. I love the look of this. 7.5. Dave Johnson, 8.5. Gozzo, 7.5. Ellie, 7.5. Get your scores in chat. Let us know what you think that Loco Motive, see what they did there, which came out last Thursday on Switch and PC got. iQuail says a 7. Jesse, what say you?
Is this the last game?
This is the last game.
I'm going to be sneaky and go with a 9.
Going with a 9. Okay.
You said the phrase earlier. This is the highest game of the night so far. Yes, that was an 8.5. So I'm just going by that.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I did say that. That's all I'm going to say. Fleabag reckons this has got an 8. Flame reckons this has got an 8. You watch the chat change all their scores now. Jenny says an 8. We need more point-and-clicker games in the world. Jenny's changed her score. She says a 9 now. Debbie Pilgrim says an 8. Tactical. I like it, says Ellie to Jesse. See?
If Jenny's changed her scores and it was actually 8 and not 9, then I'll buy her a Wagamama's. I think it's my turn anyway.
Danker says, I'm not changing on that. 7.5 Locomotive Mysteries out of 10, says Manic. We need the Discworld, Simon the Sorcerer and Legend of Karaja games remastered release. So I did like the Discworld games. They were very funny. Whoop, whoop. I think it's my turn, says Jenny, for the Wagamamas. He actually said that the other game was the highest rated game of the night. Didn't say so far.
I'm pretty sure he said so far.
Let's see, shall we? So, last chance, folks. This is Loco Motive, which came out on the 21st, which was last Thursday on Switch and PC. Dave says I said so far.
Me, the goose, and the sheep are, llama, listening intently for this.
Okay,
story.
Well, I can tell you that I did say, actually, back when we were talking about Threshold, that it was the highest scoring game so far. I didn't mean that might actually be a game that scored higher than that. But it can score the same, 8.5 out of 10.
What can you do?
I
got one right tonight.
There you go. And because Jenny was either side of it, you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we could just go back to the fact she owes me a Wagamama.
Yeah, she's there you go. There you go. There you go. So yeah, let's have a look.
That's honestly, genuine. Either way, I'm happy because I'm glad it got such a good score.
I'm glad, yeah. And do you know what else? Dave actually got it right, and we're not joking. Dave actually said 8.5. Well done, Dave.
What happened to the tradition? God damn it!
I know he's broken the tradition. He actually said 8.5, and he got it right. So well done him. I think was Dave the only one who got it right?
Jesus.
Dave was right. He was. Everyone else went either side. No.
What is happening with the world? God damn it.
Why are you sorry? You got it right. God damn it, Dave. Let's get that trending, peeps. Hashtag Dave was right. I love that. But there you go. There you go, folks. And look at that. Just finishing bang on time for a change. Geez, the end of the world is nigh. He got one right. I know. Dave the bucket legend. Hashtag Dave was right. There you go, folks. So that's the end of our show. Obviously, Dave will be back with us next week. Hopefully, we will have more games. We'll have more buckets on people's heads. Make sure that candle's not in there. You don't want to give yourself a trauma.
That's right. I'm just here. I'm sniffing.
There you go. Hashtag we want more buckets. There you go. Again, go follow Big Jesse. He's our community member of the month. Thank you to Big Jesse for being such a wonderful guest this evening. You absolute legend. We had a good show. Why are you not? There you go. Also, go follow his photography page. It's there. Dan's put it in there as well. Let's start a revolution. Dave needs to change his Twitch name to Dave was right. Why are you obsessed with buckets? I have no idea.
What chat needs to remember is this show has always been and always will be about buckets.
Yeah, that's very true. It will always be about buckets. There you go. Next week's guest is in the chat right now. And that person has just said, thank you for being so awesome. And that is going to be Games Guru. Games Guru is going to be our guest on next week's show. And we are going to be talking about such games as I've no fucking idea because I have literally got no games for next week lined up, which is the first time in months that this has happened to me. I think I've got one game.
So it'll be Games Guru.
Oh, hang on. Have I got that right? No, mate. You're next week. The 3rd. Games Guru, 3rd. You're on next week, not the 10th. It's not the 10th next week. You're not on the 10th. You're on the 3rd. I've got you down as the 3rd, mate. Anyway, we'll talk about that off stream. Early access comes out on the 6th.
These and other scheduling conflicts will be available on TNG.
Fucking hell. Can't have you on the 10th, but we'll figure that out. It is me. I'm sure you said 3rd to me as well. I've got him down as on the 3rd. We'll check our messages, Games Guru. There you go. Stand by for next week. Oh wow, man. Yeah.
It's a typical Jesse's in the last hour.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you're not on the 3rd, Dave. Size evilly, says Games Guru. Dave will be on the Christmas special, which is in 3 weeks' time. The Christmas special.
Dressing up as Santa?
I did last time, didn't I? I might do that again. Yeah. There we go. We'll see. Spoil the surprise, why don't you, says Games Guru. There you go. Oops, maybe. Tradition dictates. I lie. Reviews ZX Spectrum, loads of games. We don't really do that. We don't really review the consoles. But yeah, we've seen it. Jason Bradbury did it on his show. He reviewed it on his show on Sunday. So if you want to watch that, go watch that. Christmas buckets at the ready. So there you go. That's it. Thank you lot. Thank you to the chat for being so amazing. Thank you to our mods. Thank you to Dave, as always. And well done. He got one right. So, broken tradition. So well done for that. There you go. Yeah, it is weird that you got it right. I prefer a KFC bucket. Do it. It worked for the guy out of Guns N' Roses. Let's see who we can raid. Have a good night. Thank you, Daddy Pilgrim. Let's see who we can raid tonight. I am back tomorrow. It is our community night of our sponsored game. Hey, Mech Arena. We are going to be playing custom servers. If you've downloaded the game free on PC or mobile, you can join us tomorrow. We'll be playing some custom server games of Mech Arena. Then Thursday, I'm not streaming because I'm at the Format event. But Friday, we'll be playing, and it came out at the start of the month and got great reviews, Life is Strange, Double Exposure. We'll be playing this, ladies and gentlemen. My copy from Square Enix turned up last week. So there you go. We're going to be playing that on Friday night. So there you go. Also, don't forget, Sunday night, I will be on Ashen's stream. I am a guest of Ashen's. I think that's roughly what time, Dave? I don't know. It's before 9 o'clock, innit? Something like that. On Sunday. And we will be streaming live from the Manchester Twitch meet a week on Friday. And that will be broadcast live from 8:30 till 11. So watch out for that. But that will not be on this channel. That will be on the Manchester Twitch meet. So I'll put details in next week. There you go. Ashens is great. So he certainly is. Mag Arena Community Night tomorrow at 9. Indeed. Night all. Hopefully see you all at Nottingham City. Yeah, anyone who's going to Nottingham City Game Fair on Saturday, enjoy. I forgot you were on this week. Fuck, I need to prepare runs. Right, let's see who we can raid. Let's have a look.
I ain't got that many people on tonight.
Do you know what? It's a who's on?
Debbie, Deviant Nails.
Oh, she is, isn't she? I'm just working my way down the list. Actually, where is she? I've lost her. I'm just looking at my...
Who I met at Timeless.
Yeah. And she's doing some special nails for the... She's not on my list. Hang on. Why is she not on my list? She's not on my list. Even though I follow her. Hang on, let me exit out of it and do it again. See who I can raid. It's refreshed now. I can't find her. Is she not accepting raids?
Oh, possibly.
That might be it. Hang on, let me have a look. It might be that she's not accepting raids. She's live. Let me just mute that. Let me see if I can try it manually. If it doesn't let me do manually, I know that then... No. Work raid channel. I don't want any of them. Search. Let me put that in. Oh, it might let me do it. Let's go. What's she playing? Garden Trills.
Yeah, looks trippy as, but looks quite cool.
She's playing like a little bird hopping around the garden.
Yeah.
Let's go Raider. Let's go Raider. It's going to go raid Devi. That raid should hopefully start. Do that. If I shut that down, does that cancel it? No, it doesn't. Thank God. There you go. Also, if that raid doesn't work, please go follow her here. We'll go say hello to Devi. She's absolutely awesome. She was at TwitchCon. She's going to be at the Manchester meetup. She's got special nails and stuff. She's playing a game. And all that leaves for me to say is, after I've pressed those buttons, is wherever you are in the world, have a good morning, a good afternoon, or good evening. And I shall see you tomorrow night at 9 o'clock for our Mech Arena Community Night. So make sure you download that game, !mech in chat. Come and join us, play the game with us. And from Jesse and me, we'll do that funny thing where we just wave. Bye.